Boston Herald, Doug Kyde, Andrew Callahan ran a great piece today. All the insight they got at the Combine mentions inside the front office. The Patriots front office. Evaluators are split on whether Miami quarterback Cam Ward and Colorado quarterback Shedeur Sanders could come off the board before the Patriots are on the clock. If both do, the Patriots can pick one of two consensus top prospects in the draft, Travis Hunter, Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter. Hunter is seen as the more likely to fall, though whether he and or Carter is available, the Patriots are confident they can land an impact player at 4. So first off, I heard just sort not for the Patriots specifically, but the general consensus that I heard is there is no consensus. Both quarterbacks could go before 4. One quarterback could go before 4. Neither quarterback could go before 4. I didn't hear so much of that one, but whether it's one or two before 4 really felt up in the air this week in terms of will that push, in all likelihood, Travis Hunter down to the Patriots. Some people said, yeah, it's in play. Other people said it, probably not, more likely not. So that one kind of feels in between. If Hunter is on the board, if I'm the Patriots, I'm drafting him as a wide receiver. Doesn't mean he can't play a little corner here and there, but I think I heard comps from him. You mentioned the Justin Jefferson one. I'd heard that. I'm not going to go that nuts because, that's basically saying he's going to be the best receiver in the league. Yeah. Maybe like ceiling. The comp I heard that I really like, and I don't think that this is news, I think this comp is out there, is Devonta Smith, who would be a number 1 on most teams, is a number 2 in Philly next to A.J. Brown, but, good receiver, can make big plays, can be a spark for an offense. If Travis Hunter is playing wide receiver in the NFL, to me, he's not a guy that's catching 7, 8, 9 passes a game, right? He's not one of these 8-catch, 100-yard guys. It's going to be 4 catches, 125 yards.
Yep. One of them's going to be a big play.
Right, exactly. He is not going to be a volume guy. And that's okay. That's honestly what they need.
That's exactly what they need.
You go get Jalen Noel or Xavier Restrepo later, or you sign or trade for Christian Kirk, right? Or maybe you figure it out with Jalen Polk. People at the Combine this week weren't totally out on Jalen Polk becoming a viable receiver for the Patriots. Not starring, but getting to the point where he can be, a complimentary third receiver, right? You find your chain mover. Travis Hunter is your big play threat, which they do need. Does
red zone guy
there?
Too.
Yes. Does he get there? I don't know. I feel like it's more possible now than I did before the Combine. If I had a bet on it, I would still bet no, he's not on the board. But I do feel like it's more of an option now than I did a week ago.
Yeah. And I feel that way as well, because I think the quarterback position is so important and so popular. And it's so key to your, not just on the field, it's key to off the field for these teams. And when it comes to the financial side, the marketing and all these other things, I think these teams want quarterbacks. And I think Sanders and Ward will be gone early in this draft. Teams can say, well, we might do this, we might do that. These teams that need quarterbacks are going to take quarterbacks. And I think there's going to be some more desperate teams behind the Patriots that want quarterbacks as well. It is what it is. That's the name of the game. Last year was the same thing. We knew the top 3 guys, and then we thought it would guys would linger a little later. Next thing you know, every quarterback on the board was gone in the first 15 picks. So, these franchises, owners understand the importance of having a quarterback. And with all that being said, I think Ward and Sanders are going to be gone early. I love the way these guys are working out together. It's pretty hilarious too. But if Hunter is there, I agree with you, man. I'm taking him as my receiver if he's there. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, well, let me ask you this, though. Because, again, I think he'd be a really good receiver. He's got the agility. The thing that stands out the most to me is the ball skills, right? There's really no pass.
His hands are ridiculous.
Anything in the zip codes, not just his hands. His hands are amazing, but the way he can contort his body, and it comes from playing corner.
Yep.
The way he can contort his body and gain leverage on defenders to make sure he is the one getting to the football. It's a defensive play, but I go back to the interception he had against TCU in the opener in 2023. We all remember that diving play on the goal line, right?
Yeah.
Like, that translates to offense. He gets to the football.
Yes.
So I think he'd be a very good receiver. That being said,
Go ahead. Sorry.
No,
Yep.
finish your point because I'm about to.
I was going to say he just has amazing anticipation, if that's the word.
That's a really good way to put it. Anticipation.
He's like a baseball outfielder. Like once the ball makes contact with the bat, he knows where I'm a high pointed here. If I reach at this point, if I step this way, I'm going to be in position to make this play. It's to the point when you watch him play, it looks like they're throwing a Nerf ball. Like he looks like when you're playing with your friends with a Nerf ball, like, oh, I'm going to go get that. And the ball just seems small in his hands. Not saying he has massive hands or whatever, but it just looks that way, the way he gets in position and makes a play on the football. It's pretty incredible.
I'd put it this way at this point. If you're picking at 4, it's a very simple flow chart. Is Travis Hunter on the board? Yes, Travis Hunter. No, Will Campbell. That's it.
That's simple.
We'll see what happens in free agency, but honestly, right
it's
now,
that simple.
It is that simple to me.
Yeah, and real quick, sorry.
There is a third option though.
Mm-hmm.
So both quarterbacks are off the board. You're sitting there at 4. Travis Hunter's there. We trading down regardless of prospects has been discussed for the Patriots in this draft because it's a weaker draft. They need more picks. Current, future, they need players, right? They need volume. Trading down in this draft as a whole, people are like, oh, well, if Hunter's not there, you trade down, you take Campbell later, you take Ted McMillan later, you take Mason Graham later, but you might not get a ton for moving down. What I kind of heard this week, moving down to like 6, 7, 8, you might only get a third-round pick. But like we talked about last year, when there's a quarterback on the board, you have to pay more to move up. It's not you're not going off the trade chart. There's a quarterback tax that comes with it. If Hunter's still on the board at 4, is there a chance there's a quarterback tax for Travis Hunter because of how weak this draft is overall and how unique of a player he is? And look, I'm not giving up a chance to draft Travis Hunter to pick up an extra third-round pick, right?
Yeah,
or even an extra just 1 second-round pick. No, I'm taking Travis Hunter at that point. Let's say somebody calls you with a future first and a second this year. So you go back somewhere into the late single digits, high teens, right? You get a future first, you get a second this year, and maybe something else. Like if somebody's willing to give you the bag for Travis Hunter, who would you take Travis Hunter or would you take the bag?
I'm taking the player.
Okay.
I'm taking the player. And at say a need at wide receiver, I'm taking the player. Because if he's that valuable to you, then he's that goes to show how important and how valuable he is as a player. I'm taking the bag. I'm not the bag. I'm taking the player.
Yeah.
You keep your money, keep your bag, keep your draft picks, and I'm taking him. He's my receiver. Him and Drake May gonna be boys for years to come. And I'm looking at this kid's production: 96 catches, 1,200 yards, 15 touchdowns. Imagine how good he would be if he kept all his energy at wide receiver. How dominant of a player this kid could be.
Which, by the way, he said this week he's open to. Just he'll do what the team wants him to do, offense, defense, plays, both ways, whatever, which is a big development.
Yeah, I think his attitude and his presence, he was there for all that.
He was great. I got in the front row somehow in that massive I got to know Rondé Gadsden, who spoke before him, to make sure I got the spot. But I thought side note, because I meant to get this in, he could not have handled that any better. Crushed the media availability. Whoever coached him up did a fantastic job. No notes. He did everything he needed to do at that podium.
Yeah, I mean, I think he checks all the boxes.
Yeah.
I think you get this kid. He gives you what you need on the field. He's a great kid off the field. And you talk about marketing. This kid got 1 million kids that follow him on Twitch and YouTube just to watch him play video games all day. He's like Kai Cenat and these other guys when it comes to that. The kids will love him. You can market this kid to death. The Crafts are going to make $1 billion off of him. I think he just crosses all the boxes. Great kid. I think you go ahead and if he's there at 4, you go ahead and pull the trigger.
So I'm going to disagree with you a little bit. If there's a future first-round pick on the table, I think I'm taking the bag. I'm not moving back too far. I got to stay within like the top 12.
You can't go too far out, yeah.
Right. If I can, and I don't know that this is realistic. This might not be there. And yes, it is. Oh, well, that's not realistic. That's a big ask. This is how highly I think of Travis Hunter. But I'm taking the calls. If Travis Hunter's on the board, I'm taking the calls. If I can stay within the top 12 and get a first-round pick next year, this team doesn't – Travis Hunter's a great player, but they need more than one great player. They need a lot of great players.
They need a lot of them.
Right?
Yeah.
2 first-round picks next year in what's a better wide receiver class. Now maybe you get the wide receiver and somebody. Maybe you move up and get the top wide receiver on the board. Like you're still gonna get a solid player. Maybe you end up with a guy like a Tyler Warren. Maybe it's one of those pass rushers, Shamar Stewart, James Pierce.
Now, yeah.
Jalen Walker, Michael Williams, the 2 guys from Georgia, who there was a ton of buzz about this week, both of them. People are very high on the Georgia guys. Like, that's not a bad outcome either. So
no, it's not.
I need my socks blown off. But
so somebody might get stupid. I agree with you.
If somebody wants to get stupid about Travis Hunter, great player. Great player. If you're going to give me a future first, I'll take 2. I would rather have 2 first-round picks than Travis Hunter, is my point. So maybe that's not realistic. Maybe that offer's not there. And in that case, I'm making Travis Hunter a Patriot.
Yeah.
But I'm working the phones, and I'm getting aggressive, and I'm really putting people's feet to the fire to see if I can get that deal done. Because if you can get the quarterback tax for Travis Hunter, that would be a pretty good sign. All right.
Sorry. Go ahead. Now, I was going to say real quick, with the quarterbacks, is there any buzz of a third guy moving up? Like J.J. McCarthy last year. Are you getting a sense of a third guy that's creeping in?
I'm so glad you mentioned J.J. McCarthy because Jackson Dart, once again, I thought he was fine yesterday. He was okay. Oh, my God, Jackson Dart. He did what he needed to do. Teams are going to like that. Like, will they? Really? Jackson Dart's in the first-round conversation. Why? I don't even think – I probably have him right now as my QB 5, and it's close. Like 3 to 7 is close. I'll take Will Howard over him for sure.
Yeah,
I'll take Jalen Milroe over him because I think
athleticism.
The upside. Yeah. I think Dart has a higher floor, but at this point we're throwing darts, right? No pun intended. And then Jackson Dart, and then probably Tyler Shuck. So I think there's you want to put Dart, Milroe, Howard, even Quinn Ewers in the same group. They're all sort of equivalent. They do things differently, but the same overall grade. But I don't see it with Jackson Dart, and I feel like it's J.J. McCarthy again. Yeah. What is everybody looking at? Although I did hear some people talk about there should be momentum because of the athletic profile for Jalen Milroe as QB3. Yeah. So I heard some of that. Jackson Dart, people are high on. I still think Will Howard's going to sneak in there.
I got a feeling too.
Won the national championship, has the size, has the mental makeup. Especially the Raiders need a quarterback. Reuniting with Chip Kelly, just Chip reach a little bit to get him. I think it's those 3 guys in the conversation. I don't think you can say definitively any of them are QB3 right now. And I don't think any of them are first-round picks. Maybe one sneaks in, but there's too much depth at a position like pass rusher, right, where I just don't see a quarterback moving up that high in the draft.
Yeah. I meant to ask you that earlier. I'm sorry about that.
No, it's a good question. We've been waiting for this, mythical third quarterback to show up and maybe bump into the top 10 so the Patriots can get more, but it's not happening, man. Not in this class. It's not happening.
But yeah, I mean, with your point with Hunter, I want the kid so bad, but teams have known to do some silly, wild things when it comes to trading away their draft picks. Teams have traded away their whole draft before for players. So if someone gets silly on the phone, you say, "Yep, go ahead. You can have them. I'm just going to own you for the next 3 years." So go. Thank you for those picks, and you do that. But if no one, like you said, blows your socks off, then you go ahead and make the pick.